What is the best starter ship? How do I choose? What is insurance and what difference does the hangar type make? These are the common questions pretty much all people ask before they make their first pledge in Star Citizen, and Reddit is always full of posts on this topic. In this video, I'll break down all the things you need to know about how to choose a starter ship, what all the add-ons mean, and will give a brief overview of what ships are available. I will also offer my recommendations, although you are of course free to seek other opinions or choose something completely different. And make sure you hang around to find out how you can test out any of the starter ships completely free. Before I get into specifics, it's important to explain what a game package is and the language used around it. You'll probably know that Star Citizen is a crowd-funded game. All the money that players have spent on ships, merchandise and so on go towards the development of Star Citizen and the upcoming standalone single-player game, Squadron 42. So when you buy your game package and any subsequent items with new money, you are pledging support for the development, hence the word pledge being used rather than purchase. This means Cloud Imperium Games' legal responsibilities may not necessarily be the same as the normal standard consumer rights in your area, so when you do make your first pledge, make sure you read the disclaimer that pops up before you complete the transaction. Although there are currently over 200 flyable ships in Star Citizen, there are only 14 game packages, which include the Star Citizen digital download. This latter part is essential for your first pledge, as without it, you'll not have access to the game. The current list of game packages is the Aurora MR, the Mustang Alpha, the C8X Pisces, the Cutter, the 100i, the Avenger Titan, the Sulan, the Arrow, the Nomad, the Cutlass Black, the Freelancer, the F7C Hornet, the Constellation Andromeda Pack, and the UEE Exploration 2950 Pack. Occasionally, additional game packages may be included around special events, such as Invictus in May and the Intergalactic Aerospace Exposition in November, and some existing packages may be discounted. It's always worth looking out for such events as you can save money on several ships each time. The obvious item included is the ship you've pledged, which will be available to you at your starting hangar. Then there is the digital download. Now, a really important thing to remember is that you need to either keep your starter game package or upgrade it to another ship in order to retain the access to the digital download. If you decide to refund your pledge in the first 30 days or melt it for store credit at a later date, you lose all the additional items, including the digital download. This changes further down the line if you end up spending enough money on the website and reach concierge, but that's a topic for another video and not something a brand new player needs to think about. Aside from the digital download and the ship itself, there are commonly two other items: insurance and a hangar. Insurance is a period during which your ship is covered in-game against loss. That doesn't mean that if you lose your ship after your insurance runs out that it's not recoverable, or that you can't fly it without insurance. In fact, at this stage in 2024, the insurance doesn't really impact the game at all, and the final version of insurance is yet to be confirmed. However, it generally is understood that while your ship is covered, the cost to reclaim your ship after destruction is less than after the insurance runs out. It is also believed that in the future we will be able to renew or buy new insurance policies, but this also has not been confirmed. At special events, some ships are sold on the website with special insurance offers, such as lifetime insurance. Personal hangars are currently on the verge of being added to the Persistent Universe for the first time. You'll see in any game package one of the 4 different hangars: the Self-Land, the Aero View, the Revel & York, and the VFG Industrial. These hangars are different sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large in the order of the names listed just now. For the first implementation of the hangars, the size is relevant but the name is not. It is unclear at this stage if the 4 different aesthetic designs will still be relevant in the future, so the images on screen do not represent the look of the hangar you will get. Whichever ship you choose will determine the initial size hangar allocated to you. When you start playing the first time, you'll be prompted to select a starting planet, and whichever you choose, your personal persistent hangar will be located there until the next game update. There is a lot more to come from hangars, including the potential for paying to upgrade the size and buy other hangars at other locations, but these are not confirmed nor scheduled at this time. In the past, and probably again in the future, some game packages will be offered which include the pre-order for Squadron 42. These have not been available for a while, but with Squadron 42 in its polish phase, we hopefully will see some packages reappear at some time in the not too distant future. There are also 2 game packages available to brand new players which include multiple ships: the Constellation Andromeda and UEE Exploration 2950 packs. For the purpose of this video, I'm not going to delve into these, as they are relatively expensive and include some extra items that would not likely affect your decision. However, if you do have the funds and wish to take a look, check them out on the website. It's your money after all. The answer to this is no. First of all, if you decide you no longer want to play the game after purchasing your ship, you have 30 days in which to request a full refund. As mentioned before, if you choose this option, then you will lose your digital download and therefore your access to play Star Citizen, but most people when they're refunding would expect that, as they've typically decided that the game at the moment is not for them. Then there is the option to melt your ship. This is similar to refunding, except you get store credit instead of a full refund, and can then put that money towards other items, including other ships. If you have another game package on your account, then you retain the digital download, but if not, every additional item on the melted item is lost. I normally wouldn't recommend you do this with your game package unless you intend to use the store credit to buy a cheaper or same priced game package. The next option is to upgrade your ship. Upgrading can only be used to effectively part exchange one ship for a more expensive ship, and this includes game packages. You of course have to pay the difference with cash or store credit, except when upgrading to a war bond. A war bond is a purchase or upgrade which can only be purchased using new money. You can't use store credit towards it, but you can upgrade and pay the extra with cash. War bonds are typically time-limited special offers that are cheaper than the normal purchase price, and often include an extra such as longer insurance or a special paint. One of the key bonuses of upgrading is that if any of the add-ons on the original item are better than those on the item you're upgrading to, the better items transfer over to the upgrade. For example, if you bought a special offer game package that had lifetime insurance, and you were upgrading to a ship with only 6 months insurance, the lifetime insurance would transfer over. Conversely, if the upgrade had the lifetime insurance and the original package had 6 months, you would then gain the lifetime insurance. This means that the digital download transfers to an upgrade that does not include it, i.e. a standalone ship, and other unique items also transfer over. The final option for not sticking with your starter ship is buying better ships in-game. With some work, you can earn the currency, UEC or AUEC while in alpha, to buy other ships. You'll keep your starting ship as part of your hangar, but you are not fated to be stuck with it forever. Some ships are relatively inexpensive, while others need more of a grind, but part of the satisfaction of playing Star Citizen, at least for me, is the feeling of pride when you've worked hard enough to earn the money to buy a new ship you've had your eye on for a while. Now, here's the thing about ships included in the game packages. None of them are particularly specialist, but neither are any quite a jack of all trades. They are selected to give you an opportunity to participate in the basics, low-level combat, low-end cargo and delivery, travel from A to B. But in reality, they are there to get you an in, and from there decide what route or routes you want to head down. So that said, I personally would break them down into two categories: combat and non-combat. The game packages best suited to combat are the Mustang Alpha, the Avenger Titan, the Cutlass Black, the Arrow, the Sulan, and the F7C Hornet. Of these, the Mustang Alpha, being one of the cheapest ships, is also one of the most basic. The Arrow or the F7C Hornet are probably best suited for regular and progressive combat loops, although the Cutlass Black, when modified with better components, can hold its own in the hands of a good pilot. The Sulan is also decent in a fight, but its flight controls are different to other ships, so may not be the best to start with if you want to learn the basics. All the other ships are perfectly fine for people who aren't overly interested in seeking out combat, but do bear in mind that in Star Citizen, it is possible that at any stage you may find yourself being attacked by an NPC or another player, so be ready for that to happen. The Cutlass Black, the Titan and the Sulan can all be used as non-combatants as they have cargo space. The Sulan is technically a cargo vessel. If you're interested in hauling slightly higher amounts of cargo, the Freelancer is a good choice, as out of all the lower end price ships, it has the highest cargo capacity, even though it's now an older ship. The Nomad is also a decent choice with its flatbed truck design for its cargo space. The Nomad is a fairly popular option, and the flatbed can also fit some small ground vehicles. If you like personal higher end transport, the 100i will be for you. Origin are Star Citizen's luxury brand, and the 100i is a good price for such a vehicle. However, its cargo space is limited, and while it can be used in combat, you wouldn't want to be up against anything much larger. The Aurora MR, the Cutter, and the C8X Pisces are all perfectly serviceable ships, but they're very basic. I have a soft spot for the latter two, but really, they're only useful for the very basic gameplay. I would not particularly want to get into too much ship-to-ship combat with any of these three. If money is no issue and you're happy to spend a lot more, the Constellation Andromeda and the UEE exploration packs will certainly give you more to play with. The Andromeda is a good multi-crew freighter, with a decent sized cargo hold and a one-man snub fighter docked in its underside. The Constellation series of ships as a whole are popular amongst the players. The Karak is not quite a capital ship, but is a multi-crew exploration ship, and this package, which you can check out on the website, comes with several other ships. This one would be a slightly extravagant spend, at least for a new player, but it's a great ship that is also loved by a lot of players, and at some stage down the line will have a modular element to the cargo pods on its underbelly. The common wisdom for buying your first pledge is simple. Don't spend any more than you need or want to, as once you're in the game, you can get to work and earn the UEC to buy other ships. So if you're not overly fussed about where you start, the Aurora or the Mustang are the way to go. Of the two, I personally would probably go with the Mustang Alpha. It'll at least give you some ability in combat. It does lack a bed, but the future of bed logging is uncertain. If your budget is higher, say within the £150 US dollar euro mark, there are two ships I would suggest you look at: the Avenger Titan and the Cutlass Black. I am slightly biased towards the Titan as it's where I started, and it is a decent little ship. It's technically a light freighter with a small amount of cargo space, it has a bed for logging out while in your ship, and it can hold its own in a firefight, especially when you upgrade the guns and shields in-game. It's also not that expensive. The Cutlass Black, on the other hand, would give you the opportunity to engage in multi-crew right from day one, with a co-pilot seat and a seated turret, 2 beds, and a cargo bay large enough to carry one of the smaller ground vehicles like a PTV, STV, a mule or a rock mining vessel. You of course pay a bit more for the additional functionality, but it would facilitate earning AUEC faster than the Titan, the Aurora or the Mustang. Whatever game package you choose, you first need to create an account at robertspaceindustries.com. And when you do so, on the sign up screen there is a box to enter a referral code. Everyone who makes a pledge gets their own code. So if you have a friend who already plays the game or a favourite content creator, you could ask them for their code, as it provides both of you with some bonuses. You will get 5,000 UEC to spend on items in the game, such as ships, weapons, armour or equipment upgrades, and the person whose code you use gets a referral point. Those points count towards rewards for the number of referrals using their code, which include anything from ship components to currency for Arena Commander, and even actual ships to add to their hangar. Every player has the opportunity to earn these rewards, but the code must be added when you create your account. The referral also only counts when you spend at least $40 on your first pledge. During special events, there may also be additional referral bonuses such as ships, ground vehicles and armour sets, so keep an eye on the Robert Space Industries website for details of when such offers are available. Of course, if you would like to use my referral code, it's on screen now. If you do decide to use it, please let me know in the comments below so I can personally thank you. That's right. Several times a year, again, during the special events Invictus and IAE, as well as other periods as decided by the devs, new players have the opportunity to install the game and play without spending a penny. This is called a free fly, and is a fantastic way for potential players to get a feel for the game and the ships before they take the plunge. During Invictus and IAE, almost all flyable ships are made available to rent for free for a limited time. So in these two events in particular, you have the perfect chance to test out the starter ships and decide which one feels like the right choice for you. During other free flies, there's usually a limited number of ships available to test out, typically based around a particular theme. As stated earlier, Invictus takes place in May and IAE in November. If this video has helped you to decide what game package to choose, please do let me know. Or if you have any further questions, ask away and I'll do my best to provide an answer. Whatever you decide, please do give this video a like and consider subscribing to the channel for past and future guides to the game, as well as some analysis of new and upcoming features and hopefully some fun gameplay content coming down the line. And please let me know if you'd like me to break down the starter ships in more detail, as I'm happy to either make one longer video covering them all, or start a series where I cover each one in its own video. Welcome to the Verse Citizen. I look forward to meeting you in the game.